Hello and welcome to the 160th photography podcast. In this episode, I'm going to be talking about iPhone photography with flash. So some time ago, maybe 1 or 2 years ago, I tried out flash for smartphones and it wasn't very good. It was a Godox flash. They've since stopped doing it. I'm not even sure if you can get the app anymore. So smartphones and flash have a problem. Now, when I do photography, I like to do flash photography. I find I can craft the image I want of the person or myself or whoever with a flash, and I like using flash. But recently, I've just been using my smartphone, and I've recently upgraded, maybe about a year ago, to an iPhone 13 mini. Now, let's just jump back to when I had an older iPhone and the problems we had with flash. So you couldn't connect to an external flash like a speed light or anything like that. There wasn't really a way to do that. And one of the problems as well was a smartphone then, or my iPhone then, had a maximum sync speed of about 1/40th of a second or 1/30th. So if you used flash, you would always overexpose anyway. So it was that sync speed that stopped it being particularly useful. Smartphones have lights on them anyway, and it wasn't really much use in using a flash unless you could get a higher sync speed. I tried a couple. I'd also tried something sometime before that was like an LED light. It was like a credit card size, and that wasn't very good, and it all came down to the sync speed. You add too much light, you're going to overexpose your image. So you did need a longer sync speed, and predominantly you had to use a specialist app. So you had to use the app of the flash, and they were never that good. So even with Lume Cubes, you can use your phone to connect to them using the Lume Cube app, and you can increase and decrease the brightness of lights. That's quite useful, and many lights will do that, but that's continuous lights, and it doesn't sync with your photography. But you can use the Lume Cube app to take pictures and it will sort of sync. But again, you've got this problem of a high sync speed. You've also got the problem of the light source is very small. Well, when iPhone, I think, X came out, you could do higher sync speeds with external lights. So when I got the iPhone 13, I did think, I'd see what there is. And there was an Anchor one, and it was a MiFi certified, but it's really quite expensive, so I wasn't interested. But it came down in price, so I did get it. It charges over USB-C, and it has a cable with a lightning port on, so you plug it straight into your phone. Now, the beauty of this is it will work with any app. It will work with the native camera app. Excellent. And it will sync much faster than 1/40th of a second. So I think I've managed to sync at over 100th of a second as well. So it comes with the unit itself, a little case, and a soft silicone diffuser. You can turn it on and it acts as a continuous light, or you can plug it in and it will sync with your phone, and it will give more powerful output when it syncs with your phone. So more powerful than just you could get with a small continuous light. So it'll fit in your pocket. And you might think, now iPhones are much better at photography than they were. You can do longer exposures. You can do over a second exposure. You can do 3-second exposures. The iPhones have lights on. The iPhones use computational photography. They take multiple photographs and they somehow get a good exposure. And I have tried taking a photo at night with my iPhone, and it's come out okay. It hasn't come out brilliant, but it's recognizable and there's no noise. It looks slightly washed out, but it was at night. So I'm really quite pleased with it. And I think I had to do a 3-second exposure. So I tried this out, and I tried it out with portrait mode, which I really love in the new iPhones. And yes, I got quite a fast shutter speed, and yes, I got a brighter picture, and I could use it at night. But what really is really powerful is if you pair it with a little softbox or a light diffuser, or light modifier, I should say, other than the one that comes with it. So if you can put it in a bigger modifier, and I'm not talking like a massive softbox, I'm talking a small umbrella or something like that, then you can get really, really good images. And they're really, really excellent. So combining portrait mode with the flash and a modifier, you get very good images. Now you might say, well, what's the point? You could use a camera or just live with what you get in your smartphone. And I think there is merit to that argument of what is the point, because you're now taking a few bits of kit. So you've got a little flash, you've got a light modifier. It's not really that much more effort to bring a camera, is it, when we've got to this point? But it's really nice for those like family photos and things like that. It's quite nice when doing macro shots and things like that. And it just makes things a little bit easier. So yes, you can take a little flash, you can do some bouncing and stuff, and you can just put it in your pocket. It's really quite good. So yeah, I'm pleased with it. I'm using it quite a lot. It's coming out places with me just in case, and it works really well. And of course, you can use it with the Moment app, and then you can get anamorphic shots and things like that. You can use it with the native iPhone camera, and you can use it with other apps. It's really, really useful. So I have been very impressed. I realise for most people, the advantage of taking a picture on your phone is it's always with you. You don't have to lug loads of gear about, but I do like flash photography, and I've wanted to be able to replicate that on my phone for such a long time now, and now I can. So it is the Anker MiFi certified flash. I think it's called that. Anyway, those are my thoughts on the Anker flash. It will only work with more modern iPhones because of the sync speed issue, but it's certainly worth getting. Thank you. Goodbye.